I used to wake up exhausted, and not the kind of tired where one good night of sleep fixes it. The kind where you wake up tired, drink coffee, push through the morning, and by 2 o'clock, you're wondering how you're going to make it to bedtime. For the longest time, I just thought I needed more sleep, but once I started paying attention, I found out something really surprising. It wasn't one big thing that was making me tired. It was a bunch of tiny habits that were just quietly draining my energy throughout the day. The crazy part, most of them took less than 5 minutes to fix, and the one habit that made the biggest difference almost seemed too simple to even be worth trying for. So let's start with the first one. The first thing I changed, drinking a full glass of water before any caffeine in the morning. I know, it doesn't seem exactly groundbreaking, and it seems like repeated advice, but I started to realize that I would wake up in the morning and the first thing I wanted was my matcha. And a lot of people, the first thing they want is their coffee before even having a sip of water first. Think about how many hours you've been sleeping for and how you've gone without drinking water for that entire time. Your body's naturally going to wake up a little bit dehydrated. So if the first thing you're giving your body is caffeine, you're just going to continue with that dehydration. As soon as I started my day drinking a full glass of water, I started noticing my headaches were a lot less frequently. I started noticing I didn't have that sluggish feeling in the morning, which makes total sense. But once I fixed my hydration, it made me notice something else. Even after I wasn't dehydrated anymore, I was still crashing every morning. That's when I realized it wasn't just the caffeine that was the problem, it was what I was eating. So I stopped having caffeine on an empty stomach and I started having protein first. Eggs, Greek yogurt, a protein smoothie, nothing fancy, just something to get that protein in. Getting enough protein first thing in the morning is going to set your body up for having stable blood sugar levels throughout the day, so you're gonna notice less mood crashes, less energy crashes. What surprised me wasn't just that I had more energy by starting my day with protein, it was that I started noticing I really didn't need that second cup of caffeine by noon, like a lot of us do. But even with fixing my breakfast choices, I did start to notice that I would still hit a wall right around that afternoon mark. So I started wondering, what's stealing my energy after lunch? What is it? I started noticing I was spending almost my entire morning indoors. So I started stepping outside even just for 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a power walk, doesn't have to be a workout, nothing fancy. It can be if you want, but it really doesn't have to be. It can be as simple as just getting outside, getting some fresh air and getting that sunlight. Some mornings I'd take my breakfast outside, some mornings I'd just walk to grab the mail. It didn't have to be a big outdoor workout if it didn't fit my day that day. I know it sounds like something really small, but you'd be surprised how much it changes your day. But with doing that, I noticed something interesting. I noticed that I was feeling my best on the days when I wasn't sitting for hours. I stopped trying to get in the perfect workout. Instead, I started moving my body just for 1 to 2 minutes every hour, every single day. Whether that be stop and stretch my body randomly while I'm on the floor playing with my toddler, or just using the stairs instead of the elevator, putting laundry away, doing chores, anything, just anything but sitting down doing nothing. Just getting up and moving my body. And if you feel like you have nothing to do, sometimes it's as simple as getting up and dropping like 10 to 20 squats randomly. It helps your body so much to just get moving. It does not need to be the perfect workout. I'm also a big fan of keeping resistance bands in your living room, in your garage, anywhere where your kids are around or your kids play. That way you can grab that resistance band and do a quick little 5-minute workout. It does not have to be the most perfect scheduled way to move your body. Just get up, move in whichever which way. And ironically, moving more actually gave me more energy rather than making me feel more tired. The more I laid down, the more I just sat down all day, the more sluggish and tired I felt. But despite doing all of these, there's one habit that felt like I just kept undoing everything. And honestly, I didn't even realize I was doing it. So I'm gonna get into that one habit that was basically undoing all of the hard work I was putting in real soon, so stick around to find out what that was. Before we do get into that, I wanna give a huge shout out to Mochi Health, who is the sponsor for today's video. Honestly, Mochi Health has been a game changer, especially someone like me who has Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Honestly, scheduling a bunch of different appointments that I'm having to wait so long at, it's just a total nightmare. You guys know that before getting pregnant, I lost over 45 pounds. And honestly, one of the biggest things I learned was feeling good had less to do with my body and more to do with my health and on the inside. That's one of the reasons why I love Mochi Health, because they connect you with licensed medical providers for your needs specifically. It could be anything from weight loss to sexual health to skincare, nausea, anything that you are dealing with health-wise that you feel like you need help with. Mochi Health is going to be able to connect you with a licensed medical provider that will meet those needs specifically so that you can make sure to get the help that you need. I hate going to a ton of different appointments, so just being able to do it in the convenience of my own home is a huge game changer, especially as a busy mom. I want to be able to prioritize my health and take myself first without having to go drive to a bunch of appointments and sit in a waiting room for an hour. I just love that Mochi Health is not a one size fits all. They really look at what your needs are specifically. So if you're ready to take your health serious, you can actually get $40 off your first month with Mochi Health using my link. I'm gonna leave it down below in the description box. And a huge thank you to Mochi Health for sponsoring this video. Now let's get into that one habit that was undoing all of the hard work I was putting in. Every time I felt exhausted, I'd sit down and scroll this bad boy. And I would think that I'm resting and relaxing, but the reality is 20 minutes after scrolling, I would feel completely drained. Now when I catch myself scrolling, I ask myself, do I actually need rest or do I need to move my body more, eat more protein, drink water, get outside? That one question changes everything because it makes you actually ask yourself if you've done those things first. But there was one tiny habit that actually made a bigger difference and I almost ignored it because it honestly sounded boring. Once I started eating more fiber throughout the day, I started noticing my energy levels become a lot steadier throughout the day. Instead of grabbing random snacks, I'd snack on fruit, veggies, add chia seeds to my yogurt, or something as simple as switching the pasta that you use to a pasta that is more fiber rich, that's made out of chickpeas and lentils, is going to make a huge difference in how steady your energy levels are throughout the day. Doesn't have to be anything extreme, just as simple as making better, smarter choices throughout the day to get more fiber in. Now, those energy crashes were not completely gone, but they did happen a lot less than before. But then I realized something else. Energy isn't always about food, it's also about recovery. Now listen, I know every mom can relate to wanting that quiet time after your kids go to bed. I just wanted that one extra hour where nobody needed me and I could have that quiet time to myself. But I started asking myself, was that one extra hour, sacrificing sleep, actually going to make tomorrow better for me? Usually it's a no. The reality is getting that one extra hour of sleep helped me way more than getting one extra episode on Netflix in. So for me, prioritizing getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep was huge. But there was still something affecting my energy that sleep just couldn't fix. Sometimes the thing that's actually draining you isn't even physical and it's all mental. That's when I started realizing that saying yes when I was already overwhelmed was just draining me more mentally, making me feel more exhausted overall. So I started protecting my schedule a little more and saying no when I needed to and not having any regrets about that. Being able to just give myself the permission to say no to things and not feel like I need to say yes to everything and save everyone and put myself first was a huge game changer for how I felt mentally. Because truthfully, when it comes to mental exhaustion, that's one thing that caffeine will never be able to fix. But this next habit that I did is what actually tied everything together. The days that I was feeling my worst, I was usually just grabbing whatever was easiest, whatever was most convenient. So I started making the healthier options easy and convenient for me. Having fruit already washed, having protein ready to eat, having my water bottle filled, having healthy snacks in the pantry and getting those unhealthy snacks out of there. It sounds tiny, but you're actually making those decisions easier for you, making them more convenient. That way, making unhealthy decisions, it's not even an option because you've already made the healthy decisions easy and convenient for you and you've already set yourself up for success. Finally, let's get into the last habit, the habit that actually changed how I think about energy. Now, this was my biggest lesson. I used to wait until I was completely drained before doing anything about it. Wait until I was starving to eat. Waiting until I had a headache to drink water. Waiting until I was completely exhausted before I rest. Waiting until I felt terrible before I take care of myself. Now, I actually stay ahead of my energy instead of struggling to try to recover from it. And honestly, that mindset shift has probably helped me more than any single habit on this list because energy isn't usually lost all at once. It's tiny little habits that you do throughout the day. So if you can get ahead of it and set up better routines for yourself, instead of trying to recover from that energy, then you won't actually have to recover from energy loss. Now listen, you don't need to change everything overnight. Start with one habit at a time until you eventually build this good routine for yourself. And trust me, you will notice a world of a difference. Because listen, sometimes the smallest little habits make the biggest difference. And that is one of the biggest things I have learned. Now, if you guys are interested in gut health, I have an entire video giving tips on how I improved my gut health. So make sure you check that out. And huge thank you for watching this video. Leave in the comments what habit you feel like you're gonna try first. And thank you for watching. Bye guys. Mwah.